Before we dive in, here's something important to understand right away. Because as of today, the public memorial events for Bonnie Tyler haven't actually taken place yet, which means there's no existing footage to show you just yet. But what has been confirmed about her upcoming farewell, combined with her extraordinary legacy, is more than enough to understand why the entire world is preparing to watch when that moment finally arrives. Bonnie Tyler, the legendary Welsh singer behind global anthems like Total Eclipse of the Heart, passed away unexpectedly on July 8 at the age of 75, following weeks of treatment in a hospital in Faro, Portugal. And in the time since, her family has released detailed plans for how the public will finally get the chance to say goodbye. According to official arrangements confirmed by William Presty Funeralcare on behalf of the Tyler family, the first major public moment is set for Saturday, August 15th, when Bonnie's coffin will be brought back to her longtime home in Mumbles, Wales, arriving at 3:30 in the afternoon, with fans invited to line Newton Road starting 15 minutes prior to pay their respects as the procession passes through. Just 2 days later, on August 17th at noon, a larger public celebration of life will be held at the historic St. Mary's Church, also known as Swansea Minster. A service expected to bring together fans, fellow musicians, and public figures whose lives were touched by Tyler's music across 5 decades of an unforgettable career. Once footage from these events eventually becomes available, it's expected to capture not just a farewell, but a genuine celebration of a woman whose journey from a humble Welsh mining village to worldwide superstardom remains one of the most inspiring stories in music history. Before the world knew her as Bonnie Tyler, she was Gaynor Hopkins, the daughter of a coal miner growing up in Skewen, a small village in Neathport Talbot, where she left school as a teenager to work in a local grocery store. A detail that makes her eventual global fame even more remarkable when you consider just how far she traveled from those humble beginnings. Her path changed entirely when her aunt entered her into a local talent competition. And though she didn't win, coming in second place instead, that single moment planted the seed for a career that would eventually produce some of the most recognizable songs in music history. After being spotted by a talent scout in a local club, Tyler signed with RCA Records and released her debut album, The World Starts Tonight, in 1977, but it was her single It's a Heartache, released that same year, that truly launched her into the global spotlight and introduced the world to her unmistakable raspy, powerful voice. Of course, no retrospective of her legacy would be complete without discussing Total Eclipse of the Heart, the iconic 1983 anthem that remains a defining song of an entire era, still filling dance floors, karaoke bars, and radio airwaves more than 4 decades after its original release. Beyond that signature hit, Tyler built an extraordinary catalog of songs that resonated across the globe, including Holding Out for a Hero, which became an anthem in its own right, and Here She Comes, a song that earned her a Grammy nomination for Best Female Rock Vocal Performance, cementing her reputation as one of rock's most powerful voices. Her international success continued for decades, with albums like Secret Dreams and Forbidden Fire and Bitter Blue topping charts around the world, including an astonishing 11 consecutive weeks at number 1 in Norway, proof that her appeal extended far beyond the English-speaking world. Even in her later years, Tyler never slowed down, releasing her final studio album, The Best Is Yet to Come, in 2021, followed by a memoir titled Straight from the Heart in 2022, and continuing to release new singles as recently as 2025 and 2026, right up until her health struggles began. In fact, Tyler had been actively preparing for a major comeback tour before her hospitalization, with 30 scheduled dates including a highly anticipated homecoming show in Cardiff, a performance she was tragically never able to give, having spoken with excitement in interviews about still rocking on that stage just months before her passing. Following news of her death, tributes poured in from across the entertainment world, including heartfelt messages from fellow Welsh icon Catherine Zeta-Jones, legendary performer Sir Cliff Richard, rock veterans Bryan Adams and Rod Stewart, and singer Suzi Quatro, with even the office of the British Prime Minister issuing a statement calling her one of Britain's greatest recording artists. The funeral notice released by her family captured the essence of what made her so beloved, describing her as a warm, generous artist whose music touched generations and continues to fill dance floors and karaoke booths around the world, while confirming she is survived by her husband of more than 50 years, Robert Sullivan, along with siblings, nieces, and nephews who knew her simply as Auntie Gaynor. In a touching detail reflecting her generous spirit, the family requested family flowers only for the upcoming services, instead encouraging donations to two charities she supported throughout her life: Noah's Ark Children's Hospital for Wales and Cerebral Palsy Cymru, giving fans a meaningful way to honor her memory even before the public memorial takes place. As the dates for her public farewell approach, anticipation continues building across Wales and around the world, with fans already making plans to travel from across the UK and beyond to be present for either the procession in Mumbles or the celebration of life in Swansea, both expected to draw enormous crowds given the scale of tributes already pouring in. Once these events finally take place, footage is expected to capture not only the emotional procession through the streets of her hometown, but likely tributes and performances honoring a woman whose voice defined an era and whose story, from a Welsh coal mining village to worldwide fame, continues to inspire fans decades later. For now, all eyes remain on August 15th and 17th, the two dates that will finally give the world its chance to say goodbye. And as soon as footage and further details from these historic services become available, we'll be here to bring you every moment, so make sure you stay with us, because Bonnie Tyler's story and her incredible legacy is far from finished being told.